Hey skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2026 ski test. We've got a K2 Mindbender 89 Ti-W for you today. This ski returns structurally unchanged from last year. We do get a graphic update, but this ski returns as an extraordinarily crisp all-mountain carver that can be used by advanced and expert skiers, those that really like to hook into kind of more of a dramatic carved turn. I think that's what these Mindbender 89 Ti's do really well, is just provide a lot of energy and feedback out of the turn and just make for a really satisfying frontside slash all mountain experience. Certainly that width is putting it into that all mountain and more versatile category, but there's no denying that the slightly shorter turn radius combined with the metal in the construction do make this one of the better carvers out there. It also does fare quite well when that snow gets broken up and a little bit chunky. It has no problem floating through it, although at that point the skier does need to kind of pick up their effort a little bit in order to make it go, just because it is pretty reactive of a ski, especially in softer snow. K2 does this through a use of aspen wood core, nice light kind of energetic wood in that core, and then they use their Titanal Y-beam. So what that does, and we've talked about this for a while now, is it does what it says. There is a Y-shaped metal laminate in here, so two arms that extend up from a full width underfoot along the sides, leaving the middle open from metal here, and that allows the ski to be a little bit more torsionally flexible, and that keeps the ski smoother and more tracked on the snow with less effort. And then it extends straight through the tail here. There is a little bit of a bulbous section to the metal towards the tail, just adding a little bit more mass, creating a little bit more stability out of the tail. But you really feel that central strip of metal through the tail provide a lot of rebound and a really energetic feel. So that's kind of the combination of their wood and their metal in this ski, and it does make for a very well-rounded option. Not too stiff, especially in the shovel here where that metal stops, but we do see a little bit more longitudinal stiffness through the tail, and that's really where you feel the bulk of the performance come through. On the scale here, not too heavy. This is the 152. We're on the scale at 1,555 grams. So for a ski with metal and with this type of zip, that's pretty light, and that adds to the agility that goes along with this ski. You know, 89, pretty typical stuff for all mountain skiing. You know, if you're kind of skiing in an area like we do here in Vermont, where it's a lot of on-trail groomer skiing, you know, go off trail when the snow gets nice and soft and deep, but a lot of the time is spent in an on-trail and groomer format. And having a wider bodied platform to stand on does provide really good balance and nice confidence through a carved turn. Also gives you the capability to venture off trail, hit the bumps, hit the trees, just be a little bit more exploratory with your skiing. Just by having that extra width underfoot, and that's really handy, especially for how well the ski carves a turn. But not a crazy amount of camber underfoot, and not a whole ton of rocker to talk about. It is long in the shovel, but not a lot of drama until you get to the very end, where we see this splay come through. So that's going to give you a nice, longer, effective edge and a smoother overall feel. And then this tail's pretty flat. You know, when we look at the Mindbender 90 CW, there's more drama in the tail rocker. So when we get to the TI versions of these Mindbenders, it does become quite clear that these are more groomer focused. So the flatter the ski, kind of the more it's going to want to stay on the snow, and that's going to give you better edge grip throughout because you do have a longer effective edge. And not a lot of taper back here. The widest part is brought down into the ski, but more just to give you a smoother overall feel rather than anything floaty. Not a whole lot in terms of turn radius here, 10.9 meters in this 152. You know, when you get up to the 164, you get to about 13. But a really short, tight arc in this ski. And that kind of gives the skier not a lot of room to play with. I mean, they're because it is relatively energetic and with a short turn radius, it does want to be used in those shorter arcs. You can get it to break free and skid some turns, but it's not as comfortable going faster and longer radius turns because it is pretty precise and crisp with that short arc. It doesn't love to run at higher speeds, so you do end up making a lot of turns on this ski. So keep that in mind, and I think that a lot of skiers that are getting into this style are not opposed to making a lot of really nice short to mid-range carved turns. That's kind of what they're looking for. It's also pretty helpful, if you're in the woods or in the bumps, to be able to complete those turns and, make those next subsequent turns, giving you better confidence to kind of tackle more adverse conditions and terrain. I do think that there's an intermediate component here, one that's maybe looking for their first set of skis with metal, but it is on the demanding side from a turn shape standpoint, whereas an advanced or an expert level skier won't have that much of an issue. So it is a little bit skill-based, but it's not an overly demanding ski overall. But if you're not used to that type of crispness in a carved turn, it might be a little tough the first few runs or so, but nothing you can't get used to, and it will help progress. So that's it. Make sure you check out this K2 Mindbender 89 TIW here at SkiEssentials.com, and we'll see you out there on the hill. Bye.